Hi everyone, welcome back. I just wanted to leave you with one more video before we close out the year, and it's kind of an important one if you're someone who loves being really organized and productive and planned like me, because I have paper to-do lists that I have all over the place, and I also have a digital one, and that's just something that really helps me get super clear on what my goals are going to be for next year, how I'm kind of tracking progress, whether it be financial, fitness, life kind of things, household tasks and otherwise. And I actually have created the ultimate planner for you, and that's why I wanted to share it in this video today, because now we've kind of come to the end of 2023 and we're heading into 24, and this is something that I have myself used for many years now, and I've kind of really perfected it. And then I got it to a point where I had shown a few people and they were always like, wow, that's actually amazing, and like, how can I get a copy of that? So that's exactly what I've gone and done. I have created a version of my Notion template. I basically just went through, deleted out all of my personal information from all of the different fields, and I have created an organized life, which is now available for purchase on Etsy. And this is super exciting because, again, if you know me, you know that I just love organization. So what better to do than share it with all of you? So it's an instant download product, and you only have to have a free account with Notion. So this is $33 on Etsy, which is an absolute steal for all of the information you get in there. Like I said, it's taken me years to kind of perfect and put this together, and I've spent the last 2 days just really refining it and really going through it to make it the best version possible. So I would say it is super easy to use. It's compatible with your PC, with a laptop, an iPad, even your phone when you download the Notion app, so you can just always have it with you on the go. And that's something I really transitioned with my business this year, because when I'm kind of out of office or out of my home, and if I didn't have like a paper to-do list per se, I always had all of my tasks and documents super handy because they were right there on my phone thanks to using Notion. So I thought I would just quickly show you through the template, and of course I will leave the link if you want to purchase it in the description box down below. But either way, you can just see the way that I kind of plan out my year and how I kind of categorize things. And if you think this would work for you, then go ahead and grab it, because it is really great to just get started on January 1st or whenever you kind of get back into your planning, and you'll be able to keep this for life. It never expires. It's a downloadable link that will kind of constantly update as the new iterations come through. So you're always going to be able to access the latest and greatest version, which is super cool. But this is one of my first digital products from the Slow Living Co. Etsy store. So I know a few of you bought the totes and the planners and a few other things off there as I made them over the last few years. And I just thought, time for a digital product that's super aesthetic still, but can really help you with your goals. I've named the planner an Organized Life, and it is a Notion planner template which has been specifically designed with productivity principles in mind. It's also really easily customizable to suit your preferences and needs, and it has a lot of little prompts in there that will kind of help you get to use the planner. But as always, if you have any questions, you are more than welcome to email me or DM me, and I can kind of talk you through how to use all of the different functions. So first things first, when you land on the homepage for the template, you can update absolutely everything. So you can change the cover to be maybe like your vision board or something, or if you enjoy the sort of beigey theme that I've set out there, you can keep that, or you can even change the cover into something a little bit more colorful and exciting if that's more your style as well. But I like to kind of keep things pretty simple. So right underneath this template, you have all of the hyperlinks to the different fields. And then I've popped in a quote here that small steps every day lead towards the next version of you. So I've got a little Pinterest board picture here that says it's time to start dreaming again. And to the right of that, we've got our calendar. So this will update every single month, and it's just a really good little page of sort of hot things you might need to know throughout your day. Next to that, it also has the time and date, and then to the side of that, it has the weather. So you've kind of got a whole board here of widgets that can help you out as you first log in. And then if you head down, you've got the navigation panels. So each one of these pops open to reveal the little bits and pieces which are hidden inside. So under personal, we've got my morning routine, my night routine, wish list, and 2024 vision board. Productivity, we've got the planner, habit tracker, goals overview, your annual performance self-review, and a Pomodoro timer. Under finances, we've got a finance and subscription tracker. Learning, there is a part for courses, course notes, and study resources if you are upskilling or kind of up-leveling and that's something you want to do in the new year. Under the organizational tab, there is a reading list, a travel planner, home planner, wardrobe organization, and a bucket list. There is a health tab, which is probably my favorite one, and this has a nutrition tracker, meal plan, recipes, shopping list, workout plan, and a spot where you can put some progress photos if you are interested in doing that. I know a lot of people who do the 75 hard challenge have to take progress photos as part of it. So if you were doing that, it is perfect because you can pop all of your pictures into there. And the last field is self-care. So we've got skincare, hair and makeup, self-care Sundays, and affirmations. So I'll show you through a bunch of those after, but let's keep scrolling on the homepage for now. So here I've made a little section where you can jump straight through to Pinterest and make some mood boards or even start creating your vision board for 2024. Down below that is some of the key goals that you have for 2024. And if we keep scrolling, we now have our daily planner. So this gets the most use out of anything for me because it's got check boxes. So as you can see, when you do your tasks, you can check them off, it'll pop a little strike through, and you can also drag things around. So if you don't get around to a task and you need to move it to another day, or next week even, you can kind of click and drag and move all of your tasks around. It is super easy, and it means you don't really need a paper to-do list because you're able to just do it all here without constantly rewriting and editing things. So let's go and explore the template. Under personal, if we click on my morning routine, I've just mapped out a little bit of my morning routine and how I kind of want to start my day. So I've populated all of those fields, but you can delete it and update it with your own. And to the right of that, I've got a lo-fi morning playlist, which I really love to have sound. I don't know if it's just a little hyperactive kind of thing, but I love to be surrounded by sound when I wake up, when I'm doing my makeup or any of those kind of things. So I usually like to have a bit of a playlist going, and here is the page for my night routine. So very similar. Again, I've mapped out my kind of goals for the evening that help me wind down. And I also have another lo-fi beats playlist for the evening to really set the tone that it's time to start relaxing, because that kind of helps me get a good night's sleep. Lastly, or sorry, not lastly for this field, sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. We've got my wish list. So the wish list has a lifestyle field and a business field, and how I kind of populate this is items on my wish list that maybe are a little bit impractical to just go out and buy straight away. So it might be things that I want gifted to me if I have a birthday or Christmas or something coming up. So I can kind of write some ideas in there. For example, the coin wallet Jazz got me for Christmas was not something I would really have bought myself, but it was a beautiful gift. So I'll pop that in there with a link and a price and any notes. And it also helps if you're kind of comparing any big purchases as well. So maybe you're looking at getting a new car and there's a bunch of different models that you're looking at, or if you have a business or a side hustle, maybe there are some things that you need to purchase but you don't want to run out and do it straight away, whether it be a book or an online course or a piece of software or something like that, that is going to help you kind of map out some of the upcoming expenses and just some things that maybe you're really wishing on. And the last field in personal is my 2024 vision board, and I will show you through mine in the new year, but this is just a little one to get started. So you can delete these images and just add all of your own, and I just find all of my images on Pinterest. I do this every single year. It is such a cathartic little exercise, and I just really love planning out a vision board. All right, sorry, Jazz just called me. My poor parents have been without power on the Gold Coast since Christmas Day, so I was just updating him because we're actually flying in tomorrow, and I don't really know what to do about that because poor Jazz hates the heat, so I'm not sure if he will come anymore. We might just go in Feb when I'm going up for a friend's 30th, but I still have to go anyway because it's family time, I guess. The flights are non-refundable, and also I've got my sister's christening for her 2 kids, so that's going to be nice and fun. Maybe I'll try and stay with some friends in Brisbane or something, someone who actually has, you know, showers and cooking facilities and some aircon, because I heard it's 38 degrees up there, so it doesn't sound overly pleasant to be without facilities at the moment. So I'm really sorry if that's also affecting you and you're also on the Gold Coast, because it sounds really rough, and I'm just crossing all fingers that they get around to restoring everyone's homes and power soon, because the damage up there just looked awful from those big storms. So anyway, I'm going to jump back into this because I've lost my place to where I was, but we are now up to the productivity hub. So the first section in here is the planner, and This is something I really wanted because I've got a wall calendar, and although I was using it, I find that I was just sometimes not checking it, or I also just didn't have a digital copy of the important dates that were in there. So I've created this digital version instead where I can keep all the key dates, whether that be birthdays, anniversaries, travels, appointments, whatever it is. And down below that is the yearly planner, and if you click on each one of these, it has the calendar for that particular month in it. So you're able to go ahead and put in each date that you need for what you're planning out, and that way you can keep a track of everything when you're on the go. And also under the productivity tab, we've got the habit tracker. So if you're someone who likes to track your habits, or that's something that you want to kind of integrate into your life, you can. You can also delete any of these pages as well if they're just irrelevant to you and your life. So that's a good thing about a customizable template. You can add and delete fields, you can add and delete pages, you can just completely change this thing up and make it your own, but it's just a really great base template to get started. So Habit Tracker looks at things from Monday to Sunday, and it goes through exercise, vitamins, water intake, journaling, all of that kind of stuff, and you can kind of tick it off to keep yourself accountable. There is also the goals overview, which is one of my favorite sections, and this is something that I will constantly add to and reflect back on, but I'm also going to be putting in my goals for the year. So we've got weekly goals that are things that I want to integrate into every single week. I've got monthly goals, yearly goals, and a little bit of a reflection from the year. And speaking of reflections, the next one down is the annual performance self-review. So this is something that you can do as a little bit of a kickoff for the new year. So it's talking about recognizing your growth, any low points, looking forwards and looking backwards, and just kind of doing a massive assessment, similar to like a performance review at work, but way less scary because we're just talking about self-to-self comparison, which in my opinion, when you do personal development, it should always be self-to-self and not self-to-other. Because if you're comparing yourself to other people who have a different financial situation to you, a different lifestyle to you, they're at a different age or phase of life, it can be really difficult and make you feel like you are falling behind or not kind of doing the right things. So always self to self. It's the best way, I think, to do these kind of reviews. And the final section in here is a Pomodoro timer. So some of you have seen my little QB Pomodoro timer that I have over on my work desk, and this is just a digital version of that where you can do a short break, a long break, and the classic 25-minute Pomodoro timer, which is for getting certain tasks done, that you sit there and allocate 25 minutes, and when that timer goes off, you'll have a little break. And this is supposed to be the most effective way to get things done. And I find this really holds my focus because in such a digital world where you're getting 100 million notifications on your phone, you can just have a look at this and give yourself 25 minutes without touching any of that stuff, and you'll be feeling a lot better and getting a lot more done. The next section in here is the financial tracker. So when you jump on into here, there is the first section where you can track all of your income. And this one I use for when I had a corporate job, a side hustle, YouTube stuff, any sort of sources where you're getting a little bit of income. You can track that in here, and you could even add an extra field for like how much tax or GST or any of those kind of things, however detailed you want to break it down, so that you know what your income is for the year, and then you can kind of assess that against any goals. And just underneath this is the subscriptions tracker. So this one is really good again if you're someone who has subscriptions all over the place and you want to know which ones you've got, so you can do a bit of a review if you want to keep them, cancel them, whatever. So I've got all my things in there like Canva, Spotify, Netflix, any of those sorts of things, because over lockdown, let me tell you, I had like 10 different streaming services and I had no idea that they were all coming out of my account. I have Dropbox, I had Google Drive, and it was a mess. There was just so many things I was paying for each month, and it really added up to like hundreds of dollars, and that can make a huge difference to your bottom line. In here, you could even put things like your gym, because again, that's like a rolling subscription that's like coming out of your account. So that's a really good one, I think, to just have a really great overview of your finances. Next up is the learning tab. So not everyone might be into this, but I personally am. I'm huge on personal development, and I just think having a bit of an overview of learning can be a really, really great one. So under here, you'll find courses if you're doing any online courses, and there are heaps of free online courses online as well, which are absolutely incredible, but there's also a bunch of great paid ones. So that's been a bit of a goal of mine, to do some courses this year and really upskill and up level in all different areas of life. And There's also a section in here for course notes where you can keep all of your study notes from those. And lastly, there is some study resources. So if you're at uni or you have kids at uni or something like that, or you are currently doing a bit of a course, you can pop all of your resources in here. So there's spots for quick links, the productivity timer is here, there's upcoming dates and a bit of a study agenda. And yet again, you can really just completely customize this to suit how it is that you would use that. So I would have found that really helpful back when I was in uni. I've also got one last one under the learning field, and that is the reading list. So I think a reading list is a really great way to kind of up-level yourself in terms of just taking in a whole bunch of knowledge across different fields. So you might be reading fiction books for enjoyment, and I just think that is a great way to really wind down at the end of the night, because I certainly couldn't climb into bed and read something like The Essentialist or whatever, because it's just too data heavy and it's not really what my brain wants to do at that time of night. So I try and keep them separated out into fiction and non-fiction, and I can give some little reviews. So that way, if any of my friends ask for book recommendations, I can be like, yep, here's my reading list of everything that I've been through, and I have a little bit of an inventory of the books that I have at home as well. So next up, we've got the organization tab, and under this you will find the travel planner, and this is the travel planner that I use to plan all of my overseas trips, including the America trip and Egypt and everything like that. So I've got a pre-travel checklist, a packing list, and then also the itinerary kind of template that I use. And this is unbelievable because you can also share these pages as well. So if you're a solo traveler or you're traveling as a family or a group of friends, you can actually share this page and invite those people into the page so that you all have a copy of the itinerary as it gets updated. Another great field under this category is the home organization tab. And since I know you guys are just like me and you all love an organized space, this is perfect for all of us. I really, really do value keeping a clean and organized home, and this just helps with some reminders about things that need to be done and products that I might need to purchase to be able to do all of my cleaning and organizing. And I just find this is really great in terms of managing those kind of chores, because they really do pop up sometimes. And if you can kind of plan things like your laundry day or like washing your bed sheets and towels and stuff in advance, you can really plan it around when you're going to have some spare time. Next up is the wardrobe organization. This one is really fun. I just wanted to have a space where I could kind of start tracking a bit of an inventory of what I've actually got, because every time I say I'm working towards a staple wardrobe, I feel like I go out and buy some rogue item of clothing that just doesn't match in with my aesthetic at all, and then I'm straight back in the mess I was before, where I just have way too many things that don't make any sense. So now I'm kind of doing a bit of an inventory of what I've got, whether it be bottoms, dresses, shoes, accessories, and that way there'll be no doubling up when I purchase, and I can also start to plan out some really great outfits as well. Last section in this field I thought was just a really fun one to add in there, and it is a bucket list. So I've actually never written out a bucket list, but I really do want to start, and I've put a couple of categories under here to prompt you. So there's experiences, food and drinks, travel destinations, hobbies and skills, career goals, and life milestones. So I feel like all of us have a couple of things that are on our bucket list, and now you have a place where you can write them all down. Moving into the health tab, if this is something you value, then you'd be right up my alley, because I really do value food and nutrition and cooking and my fitness and all of those kinds of things, and it's something that is part of my everyday life. So I wanted to create a place where I could start actively tracking all of those outcomes. So first part of this is the nutrition tracker. So this is where you can kind of list any macros you might have been given by a personal trainer or from doing a body scan or something, and you can also then kind of pop that against some typical meals and the macros that they have, so you can start putting together your meal plans. Next up is the meal plan and the meal database. So under this one, you can write out your weekly meal plans, and I really love doing this because it's something that helps me get super organized in terms of what I'm going to be having for the week and how I can make the most of my groceries, whether that be meal repeating a couple of days, so like having the same breakfast every single day, or 3 and 2 kind of splits with breakfast and lunches and leftovers. And that way you can really firmly know what you want to eat for the week, how that can kind of get planned against your health outcomes, and then you can make your shopping list. So that's what I've done. And then below that, I've put a meals database because again, sometimes I just scroll on Pinterest and I'm like, I don't know, what am I gonna have this week? And I don't really have any of my favorites written down. So here I'm gonna start keeping some of my recipes, some of my favorite go-to meals. And that way when I'm doing my meal plan for the week, it's not gonna be so confusing because I can just scroll through here and I've already got them all laid out in front of me. Further to that is the recipe database. So I will be populating this more over time. So if you check back on the template after downloading it, it's gonna have a whole bunch of my meals and recipes in there, which that in itself is worth it because you know that I love cooking. So once I kind of go through and populate this, it will be all full of my favorite recipes, whether that be breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks, and desserts. And I'm really, really looking forward to doing this section in the new year. Another tab in this section is the digital shopping list. So yet again, I'm always finding that I just want a super easy list where I can tick off things as I'm running around the supermarket, and instead of using a paper list all the time, because I genuinely do write a grocery list every single Sunday before I go shopping. And sometimes I'm just in my car or on the go and I don't actually have a paper and pen. So this way I can do a bit of a digital grocery list, and you can add to this throughout the week before you go and do your shop. So if something runs out, like your butter or your milk or coffee or something, and you just don't want to forget it, you can pop it straight into your shopping list and it'll be ready to go. Another really useful section under the Health Hub is the fitness plan. So I've done a bit of a workout plan here, and the first portion of it talks about the training styles that I'm targeting at the moment. So for me, it is Pilates, strength, walking, doing 12, 3:30, and HIIT workouts. And then I've also popped a couple of saved workouts underneath here with links to them on YouTube, because YouTube was an absolute godsend for me when gyms were shut. So I used to just jump on there and find a couple of my favorite trainers, and even if it was just like a 10-minute workout, half an hour Pilates, whatever it might be, even if you just have a mat and a couple of light weights at home, I feel like there's always some way of just popping in a little bit of daily movement. And once you find a really good workout that you like, it's always great to save it. So now you have a place to do so. And the last field under here, like I said, is progress photos. If you are someone who likes to record your progress and you have any specific kind of health goals, but if that's irrelevant to you, you can totally delete it out. It's not a problem at all. Like I said, the template is there to be used by you in the way that best works for you. And the last hub, we've made it. We've got to the last bit, is self-care. And who doesn't love a little bit of self-care? So the first category under here is skincare, and I've set a couple of skin goals for myself, which is clear skin, organic ingredients, and sustainability. So that's what I'm kind of targeting. And then I've got my AM and PM routine for body and face. So if you tab on these little toggles, it will reveal those as well. And then I've started keeping a little bit of an inventory of skincare, and that's just because in my current position, I do get sent a bit of skincare as gifted or collaborations and things. And when I try them out and share them with you guys, I want a place that I can kind of record my real opinions of them and changes that I've kind of found, because over time I'm starting to really find my favorite products, whether it be a vitamin C, a moisturizer, something like that. And I just want to be able to keep a track of all of the things that I love and how I kind of found them, because then I'm going to be able to get my key products and I won't sort of have to keep trying to hunt for things. Similar to that, I've also popped in a field for hair and makeup. So I've got a couple of beauty goals, and that is healthy, shiny hair, reducing the pigmentation from my poor sun-damaged face, sun protection, and anti-aging. I've also got my hair routine and my makeup routine, and then I've got hair and makeup product inventory, and also a little bit of a wish list yet again for any products that I feel like I'm missing that I would like to add in, because I all know if you have TikTok like me, you can get really influenced sometimes, but I don't want to become an impulse shopper. So I'll usually just write something down, and then when the product I'm using runs out, whether that be like a new hairspray or something, I'll have it in the wish list and I can go and purchase the other one to give that a try instead. Now, next I've also popped in a page called Self-Care Sundays, and I know it's not always realistic, but I usually do try and do one of these once a month if I have the time. And this is just a full sort of little day spa at home schedule where you can have a night in or a day in, and you just do a beautiful self-care ritual for yourself, whether that be burning a candle, decluttering a space, listening to a podcast, maybe putting on a meditation. And I've also included a little self-care playlist in there to get you in the mood. And last but not least, I have a whole page of beautiful affirmations that you can add to or refer to throughout the year. And I just think these are really helpful to kind of get you started on that kind of journey and really just sort of allowing yourself to feel into things that you're wanting and seeking for yourself. But that is everything. That is a huge wrap on the Organized Life template. And like I said, this will either give you some great ideas for what you want to do, or maybe you want to grab a copy of the template yourself and start using Notion. Like I said, it is super quick and easy. It just involves you purchasing it on the Etsy store. It'll immediately give you a PDF where you can click on the link and then you'll duplicate that straight into your Notion space and you are good to go. It is that quick and simple. And like I said, if there's any questions, feel free to drop them in the comments below or email me, whatever it is, and I'll try and help you out. But thank you so much for watching. I'm wishing all of you a beautiful new year, and I hope that all of your wishes for the year ahead come true, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.